All right, welcome back. Episode 2 of the Say Less Footy Podcast. We're delving in with our Origin preview. Got Brendo here with me to go through the teams. And yeah, like, tune in. We're going to unpack all the selections, the debutants, and some of the players that have been unlucky to miss out. I'm sure they're going to end up maybe, there'll be injuries and stuff later on. But yeah, anyway, let's have a look at the teams. Let's get into it. All right, here are the teams New South Wales and Queensland. Not in, well, pretty much in order how we think they're going to line up. Um, yeah, some great selections there. I think the best thing that the coaches did this year was picking teams on form. What do you reckon, Brendo?
Man, New South Wales have a strong side, as always. Fiddler's done a good job. Turbo, it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Had a bit of a shocker all year. Same with Teddy. But overall, it's a good side. It's a strong side.
Are you confident? Are you confident New South Wales are winning or Queensland?
I got to back Queensland, but New South Wales will come out strong. It's going to be a tough one. What about yourself?
Oh, look, if you notice with all my podcasts, I never back against the Tigers either, so I've got to always stick to the Maroons. Um, I I think New South Wales always has a better team on paper. Always has a better team on paper, but Queenslanders are Queenslanders, and we play for the jersey. Um, yeah, I reckon we will definitely get the first game, get the leg up, and yeah, go 1-0 up. Want to get into some selections now. All right, let's start our breakdown of the teams, starting with the fullbacks. Debutant Reece Walsh was going to line up for Queensland in 2021 before he was injured, and captain for New South Wales, James Tedesco. Teddy, absolutely world class player. Probably hasn't played his as well this season, but he's playing in a losing Roosters side, so I think putting on a blue jersey and playing for New South Wales, I think just his talent is absolutely going to shine. Reece Walsh, best thing he ever did was going back to the Broncos.
Yeah,
He playing out of his skin. Do you reckon he's going to handle the big occasion?
I reckon. He was meant to be picked last year. For the Origin side, but unfortunately wasn't due to a hamstring injury. I think he's keen, he's ready. He's a bit stronger this year. He's playing unreal footy. He's playing great footy. I see no reason why he wouldn't excel in the first game. He's got a lot on his shoulders, but I think Billy's just been on his back. Billy and Cobbo are both just giving little insights to him.
Um, was it last year? Was it 2021? Either whatever it is, he's making a debut, and geez, he's just been absolutely fantastic for the Broncos, and probably a big part of the reason that they're up the pointy end of the table. Yeah, Teddy, as I touched on, just it's James Tedesco. He's just an absolute superstar. Um, hasn't won a Dally M yet.
No.
Hasn't won a Dally M. Teddy. Wow. That's a weird one. You think he would have won one by now? Yeah, he's dependable. He's a strong runner of the football. Like I think he's New South Wales would like you couldn't pick Dylan Edwards. Like he's a great player. He plays for the Panthers, but I think it's Teddy's the captain. You can't leave him outside. First man picked. Anything else on the fullbacks there before we move on to the wingers?
Teo, great game last game for the Roosters. Um, hasn't played his best all season, but he picked it up last week and he showed us what he can do. So hopefully he can come out for New South Wales and put on a bit of a show.
Yeah. Well, we will see on Wednesday. I reckon he will. I agree. Moving on to the wingers, Cobbo versus Toto. Yeah, two two strong runners of the ball. Just, I mean, very different shape players.
Yeah.
Like, I think the strong carries. I think they're very different personalities. Like from what I gather, like Toto's like always like making jokes, loud. He's jumping around, and I feel like Cobbo is just a very. What I hear is he's a very quiet, reserved kid, very humble. Yeah, that's an interesting matchup. Y- I mean, look, you're going to get strong carries from both of them. I think that's why they picked.
Yeah, I agree. Um, It'll be interesting to see how Copper goes. It's a couple Origin starts now for Brian Toto, and I reckon Copper will match up. He's a big boy. He's a strong runner. I reckon he's going to do well.
Yeah, he played last year. He's not going to be overawed by the occasion. He's still young,
Yeah.
but yeah, I I didn't think Toto was a shoe in until probably the last couple of games the Panthers have played.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I I don't know. It just felt like that the last game before the teams were picked, like all of the Penrith stars stepped up, and especially Toto. Anyway, let's on to the centers. Big matchup here. Val Holmes, Latrell Mitchell, like one of the best fullbacks in the game, playing centre. I think Val Holmes came back from NFL and was playing fullback, but I think he's found his home there at centre for the club for the Cowboys. Obviously, he didn't play well the game before the Origin was picked, but he's had a solid season in an up and down team for the Cowboys.
Mm.
I really like. I think I really like the way Val Holmes runs, and I think he got it a bit from NFL. He's just like it's very different to like a lot of NRL players. You'll see him like the way I think like, obviously he got it from like training in the NFL. He's very upright, and the way he moves his body, like it's I think it's something that he's brought back from the NFL that's really helped him in his running game. And I mean Latrell, like
Yeah.
could you leave him out? Like
No.
I mean Souths were on top before last week, but Latrell's just gone to another level this year. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree. Val Holmes last year played an amazing series. The Mitchell, you can't ever rule him out. He's a controversial player to many, but you have to have him in the side. He's a great player in the side. Mixed in there with Tommy Turbo as well. Like, it's going to be a hard centers to beat. It'll be a hard centers match to beat.
yeah. I mean, look, just touching on what you said about Latrell being like the controversial figure, I think he sort of changed the narrative around him changed this year because like obviously like he would say stuff like in the media and it would sort of either get taken out of context or he was just a young guy and he'd say stuff and then like you see like like the media's and the NRL are more getting around him this year where you see like like kids fanning out on him and like him just doing like nice stuff in the community and like talking about like stuff like growing up like he's just I think he's just that little bit older now, and the game's got around him, and it's just about like Latrell Mitchell, like the superstar, the young man. Like I actually love the change of narrative around Latrell. Like I feel like I like Latrell more this year. Like and all it is just these media driven narratives. Like I I think yeah I think we watch footy on Channel 9 and Fox, and whoever they sort of want us to like, we like.
Yeah,
But yeah, just what a player. Like big body, fit. I think his fitness is actually just lifted this year. Like he's getting involved more. Like and geez, the way he's playing in Origin, I just yeah. I think Latrell's going to make a massive impact. I think there's at least two tries either scored or set up by him in the first game. That's my that's a big tip.
that is a big tip. I'll back it.
All right. The other centre pairing, well, the other centres opposing Hamasai, Tabiai, Fido, and Tommy Turbo. I'll say Turbo so I don't mess up his name. Absolute legend of a bloke. Yeah, geez. Just one good game, one good game.
Yeah.
Like, did play last year, injured, come back, sort of injured, not injured, low on confidence. Like, one good game he's in, but man, 2021. What year did he win the Dally M? 2020?
2020 or 2021.
Yeah, wow. Like, that Tom Tavoyevich is just untouchable.
Yeah,
Yeah, and mate, Hammer wasn't sort of, obviously playing fullback for the Dolphins, just sort of hitting in the top five, six fullbacks of the game at the moment. I mean, I think, wow, just you just think of all the fullbacks, like every single fullback, like almost are just hitting that top echelon. Like it's becoming the 7 and 1 are becoming like this huge. And then obviously he debuted in the centres, so um, like the Queensland centres, like he's not going to disappoint.
I agree. Hammer's one of those players that can play in the back three. He can play fullback. He can play winger. He can play. He's obviously a bit stronger in the center. I think him and Val Holmes together are going to be a great pairing because both of them can interchange to that wing as well. Which can allow Cobbo to come in and play in the centers as well. So I think Billy's done a great job with those three in general to mix it up. Tommy Turbo, it's going to be tough. He has had only one good game. It was a great game, don't get me wrong, but I think Hamo might have him beat there.
I mean, I think him playing all the games that he's played at fullback this year, Hammer, it's also showcased that he has a good passing game as well and can sort of read and direct plays if need be. Tommy's just a superstar. I don't think he's going to have a breakout game. I think he's going to be solid in the first game and he's going to keep his spot. Like, you're not dropping Tom Trbojevic if he's
No,
fit. So, yeah, I think he's just going to have a solid game. I think he's there. He's there just because he's a superstar and he can get around the boys and apparently he's got shit chat. Onto the other wing, Tool, Lagi, and versus Adokar. Adokar had to be picked if he was fit. Got left out last year
yeah,
and was the player of the series in the World Cup. Just yeah, you can't leave him out. The Queensland winger, Tuolagi.
yeah,
Ah, not really been impressive this year. He hasn't done a whole lot.
yeah. No, he hadn't really.
Like,
I think Adokar's going to walk all over him. He's a bit bigger than Adokar, but Adokar's just got the speed. You can't beat him anywhere on the outside. You just can't beat him.
um, who were other options for Queensland on the wing though? Like, Xavier Coates, I guess, hasn't had the best season with Melbourne. Like yeah, obviously he hasn't started well. I think he's had a few injuries as well. I mean, I'm trying to think who else Queensland could put on the wing. Like,
In my head, it's just Coates. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer that he's not in there.
yeah, or Corey Oates who's injured as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Flores is very injury prone, so you put a healthy young guy in there and hope for something different. Hope that he can pull up with the big boys. Sometimes when you put those players with a really, really good team, either they'll shine or they won't. It'll be an instant kind of thing in first game to see that. Um, so it'll be an interesting pairing. I hope Billy knows what he's doing with that one.
Who's playing inside him with the Cowboys this year? Um, who's been playing on the left center for the Cowboys? I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. How about I just check the team list for this week? Well, has it been Val or has it been Peter Hiku? Peter Hiku. I think it's Val. Well, in any case, maybe he's just not getting the ball that he needs, and maybe being in a Queensland side is going to help him. But yeah, obviously, Adokar gets a nod there. Oh, Battle of Sixers, Munster, Money Munster, Jerome Luai. Oh, there was lots of talk about Luai not getting his spot, just like the other Premier players. The last 2 or 3 games, he's gone back to that level that saw him get the jersey in the first place, plus the combination. Cleary, we're building the team around you. Who do you want to play six? Do you want Nico? Do you want Jerome? You don't want to be behind in after the first game, so like trying to work out combinations. So let's go safe in the first game. If it doesn't work, I reckon that Nico Hines is going to come in for Luai.
Yep.
Cameron Munster, uh, obviously, just like Teddy, for New South Wales, Munster's first play picked, 100%. Like he's just. I don't think I think after like we'll talk about like how good Cameron Smith or Billy Slater or you go back even further, Mal Meninga, Wally Lewis. I think he'll be in that like in those conversations for Queensland. What Munster is to Queensland, like post career.
Mm.
He's just something else. He's tough. He's a big body. I can absolutely love big bodied halves. That's the way the game is going, I think. And yeah, just a game breaker. Just will make stuff happen for Queensland. Like hands down. Just yeah, he's getting the vote over Luai there. I don't think you would disagree at all.
No, not at all. I love Munster. He's he's strong, he's fit, he's determined, he's a bit of a grub but when you need him, but in a good way. Obviously not to New South Wales, but for us, it's great to see. Yeah, definitely over Luai. Um, Interesting, you say Nico Hines will come in for Luai over Nathan Cleary. Yeah, Hines is the biggest half in the moment. I think that'd be a great pairing with him and Nathan in there.
The,
I can't imagine them taking out Nathan Cleary.
no, not taking out Nathan Cleary, taking out Luai.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
imagine them taking out Nathan Cleary to put in Hines. You got Hines and Cleary in there, easily the best halves in the game at the
Oh
moment.
yeah, Cleary's not going off
Yeah, no,
unless he's got a HIA.
yeah,
Like just think about like having those two big bodies in the halves who can kick, who can pass, who can direct play, and scrambling defense, like good defense, like
yeah.
yeah, that's yeah. Well, getting on to the sevens, Cherry Evans and Nathan Cleary, big long neck versus big chin. Absolute legends. My
Mm,
tip for the season this year was I thought Manly were going to go a lot better, and it's either going to be this year or next year that Daly Cherry Evans will get a Dally M. I just think he's hitting what is he 34 now, 35 next season. He's in that Darren Lockyer stage of his career where he's just like he's just going to ice it. He's going to end on top. I think he's going to steer like he will. His kicking game, he will steal. He will steer. He'll steer Queensland to victory. Oh, I think he's. I don't think he gets the just the credit he deserves. Cherry Evans is a legend. Like,
I find it a bit controversial. I'm not a massive Cherry Evans fan. He's good, don't get me wrong. He's great. He's a great player. I think he's for a few years just been inconsistent in certain ways. Um, as far as captain goes, I would prefer it to be Munster. Um, but I won't say too much more until I see the next couple of games and see how Cherry goes out there. So, but up against Cleary, it's going to be a big one.
yeah,
Old long neck against big chin,
yeah.
it's going to be a tough one.
I just think you can't, unless someone's out of the team, you can't take the captaincy off of it. Once you're the captain of your state and you're in the team, you keep that. Like, if you're playing in the team and you're like, oh, you're not captain anymore, then it's like, well, hang on a minute, do I even want to be here? Like I think if you look at New South Wales, Nathan Cleary will not get a captaincy until
Teddy goes out.
Until Teddy retires, and Cleary's 25. Teddy's like 30. So he's got about 5 years to wait or so. But yeah, you know, I honestly used to not like Daly Cherry Evans either, but he's just strong in defence. Like watch some of his club games this year. He's making more tackles than
Yeah,
the forwards. Like,
don't get me wrong. He's an absolutely brilliant player. It's just something for me, I guess.
and I mean, look, I think we're spending a fair bit on Cherry Evans, like Nathan Cleary. I think it's because we're Queenslanders. Nathan Cleary will be spoken about the same way after his career as like an Andrew Johns. He's just a once in a generation player. He's got a great kicking game. He's got a good mind for the game. He's like if someone whose team misses a tackle, he's back there. He's so fit. He's big. He's kicking. He's goal kick. Nathan Cleary has everything, and that's
Yeah,
why he's a number seven. He's an Australian number seven.
all the tricks in the bag. He's got it.
He is absolutely everything, and he's just a genuine superstar. Love him or hate him, he's just good.
Couldn't agree more.
Front row. Here we go.
The big
Now we're
boys.
getting into it. Now we're getting into it. Thomas Flegler, number 8 for Queensland. Tavita Pangai Jr., number 8 for New South Wales. I think Flegler would not be the starting front rower for Queensland if Josh Papali'i didn't pull out of Origin. I'd still think he'd be in the team, but I think he'd come off the bench. And Pangai Jr., where the hell did that come from?
Yeah,
Literally one good game against the Titans, and I think it was just because he just stood up to Fafita and Tino, and they're like, "Oh, we've got someone that can actually give it to them." So even Freddie said in the media, he's like, "It's a gamble, but it could pay off."
yeah,
Just
yeah. It'll be interesting. Flaglers and Pangai, they're both big bodies. Spewing that probably isn't in the side this year. He's pulled out, but it is what it is. Flago, he's been playing good minutes. He's making all of his tackles. His stat rates are through the roof. He's been absolutely killing it. I reckon he might dominate Pangai Jr. in this one.
well, I've been obviously listening to a few other podcasts, like Bloke in a Bar, and listen to Freddie in the Eighth, and like just the talk around Thomas Flegler is like he's like obviously they're putting Tavita Pangai Jr. in there to be the X factor and like the bit of craziness, and people saying that about Thomas Flegler. I didn't. Obviously, I think he's been suspended last season for a couple of like silly things, but I didn't think he was that like off the hinge. And that's what they're talking about him. Like he's like the X factor. Like he's gonna rip and tear into New South Wales pack. I'm like,
It's not just his work rate on the ball, off the ball as well. His work rate is insanely good.
yeah, but he is he. He doesn't seem like crazy. He just seems like a bloody normal bloke.
He's not a Papali'i, but I reckon he's going to do well. I think he's going to hold the spot really well.
Well, I'm just going to skip the hookers for a second, and we're just going to go straight to the other front row. So obviously we're talking about front rowers. Lindsay Collins, just just a just a big body that just will definitely just put it on the line. Like he just like I think it's underrated how big he is. Like I just sometimes look at him and like he's just a big Frankenstein looking like mofo. That's what he reminds me of. Like
He's a unit.
yeah,
I'm a Roosters fan, so that's for me. That's the best pick they could have put in for the other prop. Um, he's been killing it all year. Plenty of tackles, plenty of runs off ball. He's incredible. He's just always in a good position. Um, but up against the big ass,
oh big ass.
it's gonna be tough. I reckon he'll give him a bit of a run for his money, but Haas at the end of the day is probably just gonna run over him.
Oh look, Haas is just like even when the Broncos were terrible over the last couple of seasons, like Haas was great, and I think that now they're I don't know, maybe he's just been a couple of years, he's grown up a bit, like he just seemed like it was a bit he had tickets on himself. And he seems like maybe he's just grown up and he's just like now he's getting around the boys a bit more and I think it's sort of like I think as he's checked his ego, I think it's sort of it's helping his career, it's helping him get the ball. He's just like he's. I think that's why he's better this season. I think he's just sort of like let go of that ego a bit, and yeah. And what is this? His second, third season for New South Wales? I think it's
Yeah,
his third, and he's a man's a mountain, and he's like 21 years old, 22 years old. Like
he's a big boy.
yeah. Um. All right, we'll go to the hookers. Yeah. So Ben Hunt is a halfback, but for Queensland. He is like a game-winning hooker. Happy Coruscant got the nod over Damien Cook. He's not as fast, but he's craftier. He's like he can have like three, four players going in different directions. He's always scheming. He's just I think yeah, I think it's a risk for to not run a second hooker on for New South Wales, but Happy's tough. He gets through a lot of tackles. Ben Hunt is just oh,
He's a machine when he turns it on.
oh. Ben Hunt could play anywhere.
He can play anyway. He's one of the best utility players that Queensland
You
has
could
ever
put
had.
him in the front row. He'll make his tackles. He'll take his hit ups. Like Ben Hunt could play anywhere in the whole entire team for Queensland and do well. And it's like, oh, I know it's so many years ago. Was it 15, 16? Drop the catch
The
and
big drop ball, yeah.
like I think the best thing about it is that his career is going to be more defined about Ben Hunt and what he did for Queensland. Like that runaway try at the end of the was that last year?
Last year's series,
Yeah,
yeah,
and like this is good. Ben Hunt is just an absolute legend and just a great player, and like he's going to be known for how good he is for Queensland. Happy's just oh, I'm annoyed that he got picked. I wanted Cook to get picked just because I'm a selfish Tigers fan and I want him to play for the Tigers. And but yeah, good on Happy. He will absolutely carve up for New South Wales. Yeah, just scrolling through onto the next. Looking at NRL.com for the team list, and looks like David Fafita missed photo day. No photo of him there.
yeah.
But yeah, big David Fafita gets his spot back. Same as Tyson Frizzell,
Mm.
both out of the series last year, and they're both back. Um, Everyone's been rapping Fafita. What a good season! He's having a better season. I wouldn't say it's like he's having the greatest season. Like he's been a lot better, but last season he was just trash,
Yeah.
absolute trash. And Kieran Foran is the big reason Fafita's playing well. He's not going to get the same service off someone like Munster. And Cherry Evans isn't going to be that wide, so I mean, there's a lot of talent in there. Maybe someone else is like a Carrigan or something can give him the ball where he needs it. But yeah, like obviously big body, runs fast. Like it's David Feeder. Like he'll run through a brick wall.
Yeah.
But you just you getting your money's worth if he's just taking hit ups and making tackles.
He breaks the ad line every time. It's hard to fault him on that. Yeah, he definitely is a little bit more overhyped. He's having a better season this year than last, 100%. Uh, It'll be interesting. I won't say too much on him because I'd rather see him play and just and and get the work done. Um, but if he's around, yeah, Lindsay Collins, Tom Gilbert, Carrigan, I reckon Carrigan will feed him a little bit of ball and he'll get over. I get him for at least one try this series.
Yeah, I think let's say Queensland like have it in good ball, like within like 10, 15 meters out, crash play. I can't see them like space offloading like he's doing for the Titans. But yeah, it's we'll wait and see. Like obviously when he with his first season for the Broncos, he burst onto the scene, like did a couple of crazy plays with shrugging off players and running like 60 meters to score. And I think just everyone expects that from him every single week.
Yeah, the hype around him was
Yeah.
insane when he first came into the league.
Well, he's now stayed at the Titans for less money.
Mm,
Like he got paid 1.1 as like a second rower. It's insane money.
yeah,
The Titans are starting to get their cap back in order. Yeah, Tyson Frizzell, being decent in an average side this year. Like, oh, I mean, I don't know. Like he'll play well for the Blues just because he's a tough player. I haven't really got a lot to say on Tyson Frizzell. I think he's just
yeah. He's one of those consistent players with the Blues jersey. A little bit hot and cold through the season at the moment, through the regular season, but yeah, I reckon he'll have a good game. He might not be a standout, but he'll make his presence body wise, hit wise.
yeah, he'll make his tackles. He'll put in. So the 12 we got Tom Gilbert and Hudson Young. Is Gilbert a debutant or did he play last year?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think he might be a debutant.
Um, yeah.
Francis one. There you go.
So he played last year.
Yeah.
Learning things all the time here.
Every day is a school day.
Every day is a school day. I love that. I've played one game. Look, he's been strong for the Dolphins. Like,
Yep.
yeah, he just I don't know. Like it's just kind of I guess it's kind of a little bit like Tyson Brazil. Like, I mean, I think there's some obviously you got players like Nanai's suspended at the moment. You could add stuff player like Cohen Harris, but the Cowboys have been up and down. Like this is sort of I'm like he's a decent player. I just he's I you know I, you look through a lot of the other players and it's just superstars. I don't know, like maybe people rate Tom Gilbert as a superstar. Like, I mean, looking across at Hudson Young, like just watching his performances, even when Canberra were going badly, like Hudson Young is to me was born for Origin. Like he's just like he does game breaking stuff, like whether he's like one-on-one steals or he's like taking offloads and running half the field, like he's chasing kicks and like scoring off kicks, like Hudson Young has X factor
Mm,
and I think that's a great pick for New South Wales. Whether like the teams that are named out and he actually starts, I'll be surprised. But I mean, he doesn't take a backward step, so it wouldn't surprise me if he does start. So
yeah, yeah. Tommy Gilbert hasn't been on my radar this much, or that much this season. But I completely agree about Hudson Young. He's an absolute weapon. He's going to be a force this season.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if you want to leave the Raiders and come to the Tigers, come on down, Hudson. We would love you. The 13, the locks. So I think like this is I think this is probably becoming one of the most important positions. So
Yeah,
like
easily.
I've shown my age and you go back to like the early 90s, 80s, 90s and your lock was sort of just someone to make tackles and someone else to take some big carries like your props. But like these days, like your lock's so important and these two players, Carrigan and Yo for their clubs are just instrumental. They've got footwork, they've got ball playing skills, they've got organising skills, they've got tackling. Like the modern day lock is just like the spine is five players now. It used to be 1, 6, 7, 9. 13 is the spine, and I think that they're. I wouldn't even go. I would say that they're up there with the before the six. Controversial,
Mm,
yes, but 7, 9, 1, 13. The six should just be a big body floating around taking runs on the edges. But yeah, both these players are gonna like whatever team wins the first game or the series. These two players are gonna have absolutely huge. And like Carrigan's still what 20, 23, 24 years old.
yeah,
Isaiah, I think he's maybe like 28, 29 now. But like I think he was a bit of like a slow starter. Like he kind of come from nowhere. It's just kind of like the Panthers started getting good like 3, 4 years ago, and then it was like, oh, here's this Isaiah guy's playing well, and he's just now he's just everyone's favorite player.
yeah. I couldn't think of two better locks in the game at the moment to put in. It's obviously a bit of a size difference between them. Uh, both of them can handle the ball well. Both of them can kick. Both of them can crash tackle. Like I see them making huge impacts throughout both of their games. For both of their sides.
Hold up, you said both of them could kick?
Yeah,
Oh, Isaiah like absolutely just balls up kick something the other day and it came off. I don't think I've ever seen Carrigan kick a ball, and if it has, I don't think it's turned out too well. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about kicking. Like, I mean,
little go was in straight over.
if I mean, going to his head, I think Carrigan would probably get you a set restart, like a dropout. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know for you, but oh look, who knows? They probably will. They're going to do it the first Origin. But yeah, let's move on to the interchange bench. We're getting on a bit here, but yeah. I mean, the 14, Harry Grant, like, should he start as hooker? I mean, I've seen some interviews where he said, look, he's happy for Ben Hunt to get on there and take all the hard stuff and then sort of come on and be that impact player. I think Harry Grant's the best nine in the game. Uh, you know, were Queensland smart to like, split up his work, unlike, New South Wales? Um, maybe. And obviously you've got cover if one of them goes down.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, look, looking at the rest of the bench, you've got big forwards. So
yeah.
what you got Tino, you got Ruben, you got Jai Arrow for Queensland with Harry Grant. What happens if an outside back goes down? Like who you're going to move? Like Harry Grant playing the centres, Jai Arrow, Ruben Cotter.
I think that's where Benny Hunt will come in.
Yeah.
Benny Hunt can slip in anywhere, and they just bring in one of those extra forwards. He is that utility player. Put Harry Grant out there, Ben Hunt as well.
Ooh, it's all happening here. Yeah, because I think you're on the money there because there's no one else in the forward pack that could do that as well.
Yeah,
So on the other side, Junior, Barlow, Cam Murray, Lee Martin, Nico Hines. Now New South Wales has a much more balanced bench.
yeah, that's stacked.
Lee Murray, Lee Martin, sorry, Jesus, Lee Martin, just New South Wales best player. I think he's one of the best second rows in the game. Had a couple of injuries this year. Cam Murray, and he's up. He's pretty close to being like one of the best locks in the game. I mean, he is. He is one of the best locks in the game. Except you've got Yo and Carrigan out there in front of him. Nico Hines, I think will play big minutes.
I hope so. I hope so. He's an awesome player to watch.
Oh, he can cover 1 through 7.
Hmm.
You could put him on a wing. So you've got cover for the whole back line. The typical 14 role, even though it says 17, like running in as a small forward, could probably slot in at 9. So you've got, and you know what? If you actually lose Appy, I'd say Cameron Murray's going to play 9. I've heard he's been training there. Big scoop,
Yeah, big scoop.
big scoop. And Junior, he's just a massive man. Like, imagine tackling that bloke. Like, he's dead set. I wonder how many kilos he is. Look, hold up. How big? He must be like 125 kilos. Like, he's just an absolute
123,
123. What did I say? 25.
125.
Yeah, 123 kilos. Imagine tackling that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a big man.
oh, say goodbye to your collarbones. Extended reserves: Tommy Dearden and Christian Welch. For Queensland, Stephen Crichton and Big Stefano Oi Tucumano from the Tigers. Um, big big chance we'll see the 18th man, but with all the HIA sort of stuff in the game these days, Christian Welch, last few seasons, like first front row pick next to Josh Pupley, I really think that he's had a bit of a mm, so sort of year. Maybe that's why he's dropped out. But yeah, big Steph for the Tigers. Um,
He's getting old now, isn't he? 28. No, it's not too bad.
He's not too bad. He's got a rough head on him. But yeah, oh, geez, as much as don't want to lose big Stefano to an Origin game, like I think it'd be good for him. Like he's been in and around the team for the last couple of years. Um, yeah, but yeah, he would not look out of place running onto the field. Look, I think we both. Oh, I think are we both agreement? First game is going to go to Queensland.
I reckon if we're gonna win it, we're gonna win it in forwards.
A little bit biased, but oh well. Yeah, I think it will come down, but it's going to also come down to sort of if there's HIAs or injuries and like what's going to happen around that. But yeah, it's going to be a great game Wednesday night. This coming Wednesday. What are we now? Yeah, a few days away. Yeah. We'll probably do another podcast, unpack the first game next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Brendo, for joining
Thanks for having
me.
me.
Say less. Peace out.